Okay, and it's about time we finally wrap up my shirt ranking video for the Premier League's 25-26 season. Yes, we are finally getting to the third shirts, only about 6 games into the season. Better late than never. Now, third shirts are where football teams seem to get very experimental with some of their designs, and it seems where they really, push the boat out on what their kits could look like. With home shirts, teams have a colour scheme they need to stick to, and the same can apply to away shirts as well. Third shirts don't have such rules, and you're going to see that in this video. I often find that third shirts are often the club's best shirt for a season. I mean, for example, my favourite ever Forest kit is a third shirt. This one is just beautiful. I have long sleeve and short sleeve because I just like it that much. And once again, with this ranking, we are going to start at the bottom of my little league table and make our way up until we find the best shirt of the season. It's the same we've done in the previous videos, so let's just get into it. There's no prizes for guessing this one because it is genuinely terrible. Manchester City. This is just crap. I don't think I need to see anything more. Just look at it. Genuinely might be one of the worst kits the Premier League has ever seen. Maybe even just the top flight of English football. Oh my god. We're just going to move swiftly on because this is awful. And then in 19th place, I've got Brighton. Now for Brighton, it's not necessarily a bad shirt design per se. This was just their away shirt last season. It was decent last season, I will admit. And yes, it's just okay now. I just think that all the other third shirts this season, bar one, are better than this one. So yeah, while it may have been a solid shirt with the away kits last season, it's been downgraded this time around with all of the third shirts. Could have been better. But it's very respectable that Brighton keep a shirt for the following season. It's better for the fans, more sustainable, so they can have some points there. And then in 18th place, I've got Burnley. And this one it's just okay, really. I like that the shirt is in reference to the bees that appear on the crest and the coat of arms of the city of Burnley, and this is represented by the golden geometric honeycomb design that can be seen across the body and the sleeves of the shirt. The bees appear on the coat of arms of Burnley, as I mentioned, and signify a hard-working ethos, which is what they've tried to replicate in this shirt design. It's a nice idea, to be fair, but I feel like it could have been executed a bit better. It's alright, but once again, the sponsor, not great. And then in 17th place, I've got Bournemouth. Now, the colour of this shirt is nice, but the overall shirt itself is just incredibly plain and doesn't really do anything for me. I have to give them major points for the colour scheme, as it is rather nice and everything looks very nice together. But with it being an extremely plain shirt, the focus is drawn to that terrible, terrible sponsor, which docks it some major points, even if they have colour matched it. Everything about the shirt is cohesive. It looks like a nice put together shirt, but it's just too plain for me to rate any higher, and it's definitely the weakest of Bournemouth's 3 shirts this season. I feel like there's a little design within that body of the shirt. It could have been a lot better, but there isn't, so it's 17th. And then in 16th place, we've got Everton. Yeah, this is an interesting one from Everton. It's a black shirt with yellow and blue wavy graphics across the kit. This is inspired by the area surrounding their new Riverside home, the Hill Dickinson Stadium. The design's alright. It's much better than the initial leak, that's for sure, because I have no idea what they were doing with that one. This is a better execution of that. Overall, it just doesn't really do much for me. It may be, a controversial take with regards to this shirt, but I quite like the Prince Rupert's Tower crest. I know it's very minimalistic and it should never replace the Everton badge in full, but keeping it on their third shirts, using it as a little design motif within the design of the shirts is something that Everton do well. And I think it looks pretty decent here as well. But other than that, it's just not a great sponsor either. It's just an okay shirt, really. They could have done a lot more, and they could have done better. It's okay. I do think their home shirt was a better representation of the waves of the River Mersey than this one. That's what I'll say. And then in 15th place, I've got Fulham. Black and gold is a very nice colour scheme. To be honest, a bit of a cheat code when it comes to designing a shirt, or just design in general. But Fulham don't seem to have done much with it, in my opinion. And it just makes for a very, very plain shirt. It's a very nice colour scheme though. As I've said, the black and the gold, they work really well together. And the Fulham badge is also in that black and gold, which looks lovely. So that's a good touch there. But like I say, very, very plain shirt and could have been much better, and probably should have been much better when this is the colour scheme you're working with. Like, imagine if they took the pattern from the home shirt and used it here as well. That would have been phenomenal, would have looked amazing, but no. Instead, we get a very plain shirt with the only thing going for it being that colour scheme. Unfortunate. A missed opportunity, really. I mean, it wouldn't have to be the exact same pattern. It could be a little different pattern from another element of Fulham, but still, we didn't get anything. Very sad. And then in 14th place, I've got Leeds United. You know what? This shirt has grown on me since it was released. It features a striking graphic in blue and yellow, which symbolises a sea of swirling scarves, very similar to the tag on the back of this shirt as well. Whilst the graphic is quite an abstract representation of those swirling scarves, you can clearly see them in the design. Especially if you squint, you can really make out those scarf shapes, and I think it looks quite nice. The white secondary colour works well against the dark base and creates a very cohesive design. That aforementioned neck tag is a very nice touch, and it's so nice that it features on all 3 of Leeds' shirts this season, which is fair enough, because it's unique and it's quality. Love out like that me, what a lovely tag, and what a very nice design overall. Very, very solid shirt. Honestly, when I first saw the kit, it was giving me shades of Leicester's away kit from last season, but it's actually much better than that, so we've been saved, or Leeds have been saved at least. And then in 13th place, I've got Aston Villa. This is our first trefoil entry, and it's Villa's effort with Adidas. It's just a very okay shirt. They've produced a white kit with a unique marbled pattern which features pastel hues, the colours of sky blue, lilac and rose. This design takes its inspiration from the stained glass windows of traditional churches, but personally, when I'm looking at these graphics, it gives off a more icy vibe than stained glass window. I'm not sure if you see it too, but I feel like the ice cubes more than anything. Overall, it's a very cohesive shirt design. Everything works well together. The badge, the trefoil, the collar and cuff detailing is nice, but it just doesn't really do much for me. I think it could have been better. I do think the trefoil elevates the design of the shirt quite a bit, because if this was just a standard Adidas badge, it might have been a bit lower, but it's still a decent kit, but definitely carried by the trefoil. I just felt they could have done a bit more, you know? Especially with your third shirt when you're an Adidas elite team. Could have done a lot better. Kind of a missed opportunity in my opinion. Especially when you look at some of the other elite third shirts on this list. You're the short end of the stick with that one. And then in 12th place, I've got Crystal Palace. Yeah, so I might have accidentally rated Palace's third shirt in the away shirt video. So I'm going to rank their away kit here, I think. I'm not quite sure how I managed that, to be honest. And I don't actually know which is which. They don't actually say which is the away and which is the third shirt in any of their release material. So this might actually be the third shirt. I don't know. This kit was released last. They released the home shirt and the gold shirt around the same time. This one came out last, so it would make sense if it was the third shirt, but people are saying it's the away shirt. I just don't know. We're ranking it here. And I think it's 12th. Either way, though, it's very strange that they're paying homage to Olympic Lyon, giving the whole Europa debacle, which is why they're competing in the Conference League now. I think it's just purely coincidental, but they did used to share ownership links, so it's quite funny that this is the kit released after that whole set of shenanigans went down. It reintroduces the central red and blue vertical stripes, each split into 2 shades with an eagle pattern throughout. This is the same eagle that can be seen embossed onto the fabric of the shirt itself, which I think looks very nice. The sleeves also feature a stripe of the colour that matches the colour of their central stripe, which is also a nice touch. Overall, it's a very, very decent shirt from Macron and a solid return to a classic colourway. That is, if it's the third shirt. It's nice either way. I just don't know which kit it is, but you know, we'll say it's the third shirt and just hope for the best. And then in 11th place, just missing out on the middle of the table, is Chelsea. Nike's T90 kits are back, and this Chelsea third shirt is the first one we're going to look at. It's a black shirt with a white secondary colour and blue accents on the piping. It utilises a past Chelsea badge from 0305, which has been centralised, which we know I like. The Nike tick hasn't been centralised, but with the Club World Cup winners patch, the shirt still looks balanced, so I'm going to give them a pass there. It's a very decent shirt, don't get me wrong, but I think it could have benefited from more blue and less white. Maybe even no white, let's be real. But still, very solid template, which is obviously doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. It's not a bad shirt, to be honest. Like, it's okay. There are better T90 shirts out there, but this one, it's okay. It's alright. And in 10th place, slap bang in the middle of the table, I've got Tottenham. And Spurs have one of them. I think that their T90 effort is better than Chelsea's. This shirt is a very bright, a very vibrant yellow with a navy secondary colour for detailing. Much like Chelsea's, this kit incorporates a retro crest, this one used between 1999 and 2006. The Nike tick hasn't been centralised again, which does create an uneven looking design, but that's just how the template is, and I think I can get over it. Overall, very, very solid shirt. The retro badge used here looks absolutely phenomenal, much better than Chelsea's choice. And yeah, I like what I'm seeing. But yeah, I like what I'm seeing. It's quite nice. And then in ninth place, I've got Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves have gone from the Portuguese team to the Brazilian team. This shirt was designed by a Wolves fan and celebrates their Brazilian players. It's a lovely sky blue shirt with a darker blue pattern across the entire body of the kit, with matching yellow/blue collar and cuffs. The shirt features an all-over pattern that includes some abstract shapes, tropical elements which really give it a vibrant feel to try and capture those vibes you get from Brazil. The badge, sponsor and pseudo logo have all been colour matched too. It's a very cohesive shirt design and a quite nice looking pattern as well. Another very solid effort from both Wolves and Sudo. They've been having some pretty decent shirts, to be honest. To say they're just like in-house focused on Wolves, that's pretty good going. And then in 8th place, I've got Newcastle United. And I think somebody at Adidas must have watched my custom kits video from last season, as we both reimagined the Mag's iconic 97-98 away shirt. Run me my money, Adidas. You know where to find me. I jest, of course, unless you have got money to give me. This is rather nice though. It keeps the original colour palette but reimagines the shirt with a more minimalist approach. It removes the vertical stripe, which was the main feature of that design, but replaces it with some subtle vertical pinstripes as part of the fabric, which I do quite like. I'm not a fan of that deep V collar, but its overall design is nice and it matches with the cuffs as well. They've kept the badge in a shield, which I do like. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think it's a very nice design choice on the occasional shirt. You know, it's a very solid effort from Adidas. I think they've done well here. It's definitely a better third shirt than what Villa had. Yeah, very, very solid effort from Adidas and Newcastle. Lovely stuff. I just wish you kept the vertical stripe. That'd been lovely. I even designed a shirt where you could do that. You could just taken that. And then in 7th place, I've got Brentford. Now this shirt is a direct link, a direct reference to their history. In fact, their very, very early history. The colours of this third shirt are a direct reference to their founding colours. They adopted the colours of claret, blue and salmon, which were the colours of the rowing club that this club was formed from. There is an 1889 neck tag which honours the year Brentford FC was established, when they voted to become a football team over a rugby team. The centralised logos are a really nice touch as well. I love the two stripes that connect to the badge. Very, very nice. The sponsor, it's not great. Get rid of that as soon as you can. But all in all, it's a very clean shirt that does the job. Overall, though, it's a very clean shirt, and I've actually been quite impressed with what Jomo have been doing for Brentford this season. Didn't think it would go well, but they've impressed me, so fair play. And then in 6th place, I've got Nottingham Forest. Unfortunately, it was not 3 for 3 on top spots in my rankings, as I do feel that our third shirt has fallen short in comparison to the other two kits we've received. It's a navy and red number, with the body of the shirt containing a wavy graphic pattern, which looks pretty decent, but it doesn't really represent anything about the club in particular like our previous two shirts did. The bright red secondary colour on the detailing provides some really nice contrast with the rest of the shirt. It's not a bad kit, don't get me wrong. I will purchase it at some point, probably when it goes on sale though, but overall, a very, very decent kit. Just could have been so much better. It's okay. I'll allow it. And then in 5th place, I've got West Ham United. This is a very classy shirt from West Ham and Umbro. This is a shirt inspired by their history. It has a navy and gold colour scheme, which draws inspiration from the club's industrial roots at Thames Ironworks, with the navy representing that legacy, and the gold symbolising the iron of the hammers. Even if gold and iron are two different metals with two different colours. But you know, who's splitting hairs there? We move. The body of the shirt features a subtle diamond pattern with a classic polo collar. It also features a solo hammer's crest worn for the first time on a shirt since the 1980s. And it looks lovely. Very, very classy kit. And low-key, I get vibes of that Juve third shirt from last season, which was absolutely phenomenal. It's nowhere near that shirt, don't get me wrong. Still a decent shirt though. I'm sure you can see the comparison I'm drawing here. And then in 4th place, I've got Sunderland. The Black Cats and Hummel have been cooking on this third shirt. It's almost like blackout shirts have made a return, almost. The shirt is entirely black with some subtle tonal patterning, but I think the standout feature of this shirt is the monochrome black cat logo in place of their regular crest. There's also a neck tag design that features 2 yellowy orange cat eyes that really ties the whole shirt together. It's just lovely. It's a very unique shirt design, but I do think there are 3 better third shirts this season, but it's a very, very solid effort from both Sunderland and Hummel. I love the fact you've gone with a cat for your badge. Yeah, lovely, lovely stuff. One of the best dressed teams, I think, this season. You know, they're not the best dressed, but they're definitely up there for sure. Very, very good stuff. And then in 3rd place, I've got Liverpool. Liverpool's third shirt from Adidas is the best of their 3. And I think it looks rather nice. It's a lovely teal colour with some teal stripes and a white accent colour for all the detailing, and it works wonderfully. The main feature of this shirt is the classic 87-92 Liverpool crest, which has been slightly updated and modernised for this shirt, and it looks wonderful. And it also pairs really well with that trefoil as well, both of those being retro logos. And this also was the badge at the time that Adidas were originally producing shirts for Liverpool, which is a nice tie-in to that history as well. It gives me proper retro vibes for what is a modern shirt. There are 2 shirts that just about edge it, but it's still very, very nice. Honestly, between these like top 4 and especially the top 3, very, very hard choices to make here. But in 2nd place, I've gone with Arsenal. Just wow. This kit commemorates the 20th anniversary of Arsenal's final season at the iconic Highbury Stadium, and that is done by incorporating graphics and details that pay tribute to its Art Deco architecture into the fabric of the shirt itself, and it looks really, really nice. The shirt features a classic polo collar with both the collar and sleeve cuffs having some nice gold maroon detailing which all match, which, you know, is a nice cheat code in itself, and it's all topped off with a neck tag that features Arsenal badge from 1952, which could also be found at Highbury as well. Now, you may not know this about me, but I think that Art Deco is one of the best art styles out there, especially with architecture. And the little Art Deco elements looked beautiful at Highbury, and they look brilliant on this shirt as well. It would be top if there wasn't one shirt that I think just edges this one, but cannon badge, trefoil, Art Deco detailing, lovely colour scheme. This is a very, very solid shirt. It deserves the plaudits it's been getting because it is quite nice. But I think that Manchester United have a better shirt. Just about. How nice, you know, both the Manchester sides are bookending the rankings. That's lovely stuff. But yes, I think Manchester United have the best third shirt this season, although it is very close. The shirt is heavily inspired by the iconic 93-95 away shirt, which is my favourite Man United shirt for whatever that's worth. It's a largely faithful remake of that shirt, maintaining the overall design of the kit. However, they've gone with a different collar, and within the stripes there are some embossed Red Devil logos, which should elevate the shirt even further. I am a huge fan of the Red Devils in the stripes. I think that's a very nice design touch. Something that more teams should do when they've got stripes involved. Yeah, huge, huge fan. And not to mention, the badge is in the shield as well. Much like the Newcastle kit, much like the Forest shirt. Love it. And also, much like the original shirt as well. And the trefoil is just the cherry on top. I think it works really well with either these very elaborate shirt designs or when it's a retro callback, because it has that retro vibe already. You're bringing a shirt back with that, and then like a classic logo as well. That's good design. I think the original, like I say, is Man United's best ever shirt, and this is the best third shirt this season for a reason. It could only be better if it maintained that polo style collar. That would have shot it through the roof, but it's still top. Still a phenomenal bit of kit. Man United have been nice here. This is good stuff. And yeah, that rounds off the rankings of my third shirts for this season. Very, very, very hard list to rank. Yeah, it's just been a good season for shirts, I think. But as I've said, it was close for the top 4, even close for the top 3, and even closer for the top 2. I was going back and forth with my choices, man. I just had to lock it in at some point. But yeah, I think it's been a really, really good season for football shirts. A lot of clubs have some very, very strong kits, and it made all 3 of these videos really hard to make as I was constantly chopping and changing the lists before I actually sat down to record. It seems that both clubs and manufacturers are taking shirt design seriously nowadays. You know, football kit collecting and kit purchasing has gone up a lot since the pandemic, and it looks like manufacturers and clubs are finally clocking on that supporters want nice shirts to wear when they support their teams. And it looks like they're putting a lot of effort into creating unique and interesting shirts for most clubs, especially in the top flight, but also lower in the leagues we're seeing it as well, which is a nice thing to see. So I like what manufacturers and clubs are doing. Makes my job harder, but the shirts look nice. Anyway, I've been O2GT. That has been my final ranking of Premier League shirts for the season. I will probably do a 92 kit ranking video in the near future. Those will take me a while to create, but I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.